So here it is, the restoration is complete. It is now a striper sport. Check it out. Okay, so what did we start off with? We started off with a haul, and that was pretty much it. Everything has been replaced, including the trailer, but everything's been replaced with the exception of the rub rail, which is original, the front nav light. I did replace the very top housing on it, and the side stainless steel grab rails. Everything else has either been fabricated, replaced, rebuilt, and it's been a lot of work. But if you've been following the series, then you know how far this transformation has come. And you know, this thing was pretty much purpose built for fishing, crabbing, and just cruising around, but pretty much fishing, and with little to no maintenance, very little maintenance involved with this. At least that's what I'm trying to achieve. Okay, so let's get down to what really was done. The wood was replaced, and I wanted to do starboard because I felt that, you know, like these side rails here that run up and down the gunnel, they would be a real pain to have to refinish those if they were in the wood. So I figured I would do those in starboard, and you know, that would fit into my less maintenance factor. So something I want to show you about this front seat is there's a latch under here, so it's removable, and I'm going to show that now. Okay, so what's, you know, the only thing that's left behind are these little hooks down here, and it really opens the boat up, as you can see, and opens up the space, so you have a lot more fishing room, or if you wanted to throw bean bags, whatever. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you the console. Okay, now this console we fabricated. We built a mold, and the dimensions of the mold are basically the dimensions of the Boston Whaler striper console. Okay, so we have one nav light, or we have one switch for a nav light there, and it's a stainless steel waterproof light, and that's it. There's no stereo, there's nothing else on here. It's pretty tight inside there, and there are no gauges other than what we have tied into our Garmin, and the key is really to get the radiuses right and to really just make a flawless mold so that you could have a flawless console, and I think we achieved that here. And it's in the Whaler Desert Tan, and building that mold was a ton of work. It was a lot of work, and then even then, once we actually had taken the console out of the mold, you know, we had to do a lot of trimming. We had to do a little bit of reinforcement using some Kusa board on the inside, but it's tough as nails. It's really strong. We got a lot of 1708, and we used vinyl ester resin, and it just turned out great. We're very happy with it, and it's really perfect for this boat, and that's probably why they're so sought after and impossible to find. And you know, it was a lot of work, and I'm just really pleased with it. Okay, so getting to these seats. These are the Tempest low back Navy style seats, and I chose these seats because I like the color. I think it would go well with the desert tan, and they lock in the down position, so if you're trailering, it won't come up or anything. It won't fly up on you, and it just really seemed like a good quality seat, and they're very comfortable. On the first little sea trial that we had taken, they were great. They performed better than expected, and so very, very pleased. And I wanted the low back style because I felt that the high back just really weren't very proportional to the boat. The low gunnels, I felt that the high back Navy style seat was it was just too tall, and I didn't really feel that that little bit of extra material at the top was going to be that beneficial. So that's why I went with the low back style. And in the back here we have this piece of teak, and it's just natural. It's oiled, and it just sort of lays in there for now, because that well I felt was kind of a tripping hazard, and I felt like I would probably end up getting my toe or my foot would go down in there and I'd end up tripping. Okay, these are the A-Marine rod holders, stainless steel. They have sleeves in them, and they have pins down at the bottom, so if you have a gimbal butt, you know, they'll lock in down there. Got 4 of those on, and those were on Amazon for $118 for all 4 of them, which includes the mounts. Okay, there's a couple things I want to mention before I end this video that I didn't touch on during the walk around. One thing that comes up that I see frequently online are the drain tubes. People that have these boats, the drain tubes go bad, and they inquire ad nauseum, what do I do? How do I replace them? You got a couple of options. One option would be to go back to the original brass tube with the rubber O-ring. I think a lot of people do that, and some people will opt for the nylon or plastic, kind of a snap together drain tube. Those are fine. You could use any of them. They'll all last for a while, depending on how you care for the boat and so on. But what we did with this boat is, we used the brass drain tubes, but we did not use the rubber O-rings. And the reason we did not use them is because, from what we've discovered and seen, or the O-rings go bad fast. They'll dry rot, they'll crack, they'll fail, and then water will get in behind that brass tube, and really the corrosion will take over, and it won't be long, and that tube will fail. So we used the flaring tool and an air tool. I can't remember what it was called. And we basically compressed that brass tube into the boat and flared it, and we used 5200, and we got a really good seal. It's a very strong bond, and I believe it's going to last a really long time. So that's kind of the road we went down, because I rather it be overbuilt than underbuilt. And 5200, 4200, it's really good. They're really good products made by 3M, very strong. Some people might think it's a little overkill, but that's what I prefer. I want something that's going to last long. And I believe a sealant is only a sealant unless it has adhesive. And without the adhesive part of it, I don't believe that you can really get a good seal. And those products, the 4200 and 5200, are really designed and manufactured solely for through holes. Well, not solely for through holes, but for through holes. And it's many people use it, and by the time it fails, it'll be easy to take out with a Dremel tool, which is a fairly simple tool. The amount of sealant that would be in there wouldn't be that much, and a Dremel tool could knock it out pretty fast. So that would be my suggestion, but use whatever you feel comfortable using. There's other good products out there as well. Now when it comes to the little side console, if you have a striper, if you've been watching these videos because you're going to want to rebuild, fix up, restore your striper, and you have that striper console and you have all these holes all over it, and you don't feel like doing the fiberglass work and the gel coating, and you want to put starboard over those areas and try to dress it up a little bit, what I would suggest you do is, if you're going to put starboard over your striper console, or any fiberglass console for that matter, is to use screws, but use them from the inside. That way you don't see the screw heads on the outside of the console. All your fasteners would be hidden. It's a much more professional and cleaner look. So that would be my suggestion, would be to choose a color of starboard that is going to go with your theme, what you're going with on your boat. If you're going to do a color change, what have you. And when you put that starboard on that console, you can come in behind it with screws, and what you're going to want to do with those screws is you're going to want to clip off the ends so you don't have such a sharp point. That way when you put that screw up through the fiberglass and into the starboard, you're not going to see a peak. You won't see it. You got to make sure obviously that you get the right size screw, but you're less likely to have a peak or a dimple or something like, some imperfection that you might see on the surface of the starboard. And that would be my suggestion. Just gives a much cleaner look, more professional look, My console on my Contender has starboard on it, where we mounted in a 16-inch Simrad screen, and all the fasteners were done from the inside of the console. Therefore, you know, you have no screw heads. It looks so much better, and it's held up great. Something else I wanted to touch on. I noticed online some of these people that are fixing up these boats, not just whalers but any boats, they're using Bondo. Bondo is really not a product that's made for marine use. There's no flex in Bondo, and it will soak up water, moisture. I'm particularly talking about Bondo that you might find at your automotive store, Home Depot, whatever. You know, you start using that stuff on your boat, it will hold up for a little while, but over time it's going to begin to crack, just like it does in cars. And the whole reason why people don't like Bondo in their cars is because those types of repairs don't last very long. I don't care what you're putting over top of it. These boats flex. There is some flex in these boats, particularly the older boats. And with that little bit of flex, you're going to start seeing cracks, spider cracks, and so on. So I would suggest that you use a marine grade fairing compound anytime you're doing body work on your boat, because those types of materials, yeah, they're going to cost a little bit more, but you're going to get much better performance out of that. So always, you know, try not to pinch pennies there, and you know, always try to go that extra mile and get a good quality fairing compound. What we used on this boat was the Total Boat polyester fairing compound, and we got like a quart of it. We were able to do the whole transom and some repairs on the bottom and the side, and it worked great. Sanded out real nice, and was just fine. So that's what I would recommend, would be the Total Boat polyester fairing compound. And if you can save the gel coat, you know, on your boat, you're really gonna be doing it a favor, because gel coat, I believe, is easy to repair, and it's much stronger, tougher than paint. There's some great paints out there, some really good high quality paint, but when it comes to like gel coat and that kind of stuff, you know, if you can polish, you know, not a whole lot of wet sanding, just touching it with the sander, nothing crazy with the sander, but when it comes to a machine, high speed buffing, you know, an aggressive compound, you can revitalize the look of your desert tan. And that's what I wanted to keep here, was the desert tan, because it is the classic color. And that was one of my things with this boat, is I wanted some classic with some modern kind of blended together. And that pretty much sums it up here. The next video is going to be a performance-based video. I'm going to show you the Garmin and how it works with the engine. We're going to get some performance numbers on what this boat will do with the 70, and you can ride along with us and check it out. So subscribe for the next one. Thanks.